Welcome to another live stream, guys. Bitcoin seeing yet another dump today, which is unfortunate to see because over and over again, we see any signs of life from the bulls quickly shut down by the bears, who appear to be in total control of this trend for now. The bulls have a lot of work to do and important levels to reclaim quickly to avoid a potential price collapse in the very near future. So with that, let's take a look at a few different time frames and see what the heck is going on and check some levels worth paying attention to. Guys, nothing has really changed on the 4-hour yet from the structure I pointed out yesterday. We still have our lower low and our lower high intact. MDX ALGO Master still agreeing with the fibs that I have pulled currently as a potential resistance zone, basically starting above 112.6 thousand. On the 1 hour as well. I mean, first of all, guys, one thing I want to point out with the MDX Trendmaster, this is on both the 4-hour and the 1 hour, but we still have trending lower sell signals on the indicator. So pointing out a very strong trend still. And just the basic market structure we have yesterday in the live stream, I had mentioned that we were in basically a high risk zone because we had ended up losing that higher low on the trend, right? Because this was our high, this was our higher high. The higher low is the lowest point between the two. We lost that. And guys, that is also something, that's the type of market structure that I teach every day inside my Telegram channel. Those of you interested in just looking at how I pull fibs, how I look at market structure, my overall thoughts on the markets, all that sort of good stuff, guys, do yourselves a favor, scan the QR code on the screen. Get into my Telegram channel, just where I'm teaching some of my favorite trade strategies, just how I view the markets in general. So, but guys, yeah, the 1 hour, I mean, yesterday I was pointing out that basically we had this beautiful downtrend. I say beautiful because I don't have a bias. As long as the market structure is being well respected and it's volatile, I'm happy. I don't care if it's to the upside or the downside. But after we lost this level, I'll make that white again. We had our lower low. So at that point, that was basically this break in structure right here is basically what confirmed to us that this was our pivot point on the 1 hour. And as long as we're below that, things are bearish. And then we ended up setting another lower low, which confirms that as our lower high, lower low. And then we end up getting our lower high broken. And we do get a nice pump to the upside. However, it was basically cut short. As I mentioned in my Telegram this morning on the 5-minute, you can see that basically where we topped out, we ended up losing higher low structure again. And I know a lot of people think this is micro analyzing, but just to show you how very basic market structure, when you actually understand, what confirmed levels are and that sort of thing. I mean, here we had our higher high that confirmed this as our higher low. We got another higher high that confirms this as our higher low. And look what happens after we end up breaking that level. Yeah, we reclaim it quickly and get that little bounce, that recovery. But notice where it ends up getting stopped right at about the 786 Fibonacci retest. So that's basically the whole foundation behind the STUBER fib setups, right? It's after you break that structure and getting that Fibonacci pullback so that you have basically the trend for potential momentum for that setup. Basically, if there wasn't a break of that higher low structure here, then I wouldn't have been near as bearish on this type of setup. And I actually saw it late. I saw it about 10 minutes after it happened, and I was kind of disappointed I never had a perfect entry. But just because I'm so bearish on the trend as a whole, I was willing to get in a little bit late anyways. Still have that running for now. And basically, I'm just looking at, zooming out to the 1 hour again. This is the current structure that we have on the micro trend. Basically, this is what I'm looking at. So here we had where we had bottomed. We got our little bounce because we got green candle, but we did set another lower low. I understand it's micro analyzing, but I'm just looking for an immediate break of the trend basically to get out of my position. So basically, if this STUBER ends up getting invalidated, we break above the 115. So basically above 102.4 thousand US dollars. If we break above that, that's when I'm going to lock in the rest of my profits on this short, because at that point, it's very possible that we end up retesting the bigger swing, right? Whether that means we go straight there like so, or we end up getting this break and then come back down for a retest, much the opposite, right? break that downtrend and then get that retest to a STUBER fib and look for some sort of a long opportunity up towards this resistance at that point. But as it stands right now, we still have this bearish setup here on the charts. So I more so like to trade the charts that are on the screen versus what I hope is there, a few days or weeks or months later, right? I just try and be very real and just trade the market structure for what it is. I don't care about fundamentals. I don't care about announcements or tweets or anything like that. And I'm not going to say that those things don't matter. They do absolutely push the price in certain directions, but to trade them is insanely difficult. Especially on lower time frame trading, and your only real edge, in my opinion, is trading charts. So again, that's why I look at market structure and I just trade the charts for what they are. And guys, if you do appreciate the fact that I, approach these live streams and these markets with such a level head while things are so volatile and so chaotic out there, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you just like looking at charts and you like trading the charts for what they are. Not getting too wrapped up in the fundamentals, in hopium, anything like that. Just looking at it one trade setup at a time, basically. So right now on the 1 hour, like I said, even on the micro trend here, we just have a confirmed lower high, basically, because we set this little lower low. Obviously, that's a very small range. Even if we end up getting some sort of a bounce, it's very possible that we have started a downtrend on the 1 hour, something like this. So even if we do end up breaking this structure and getting some sort of a reversal, we would have to start paying attention to resistance again around 106,000 US dollars. Now on the 4 hour, it's actually higher. Like I said earlier, about 112.6K. So no matter how we look at things, basically Bitcoin has a lot of work to do, right? There is, we are in a nasty downtrend, right? The fact that we have a lower low on the 4 hour, yeah, it's absolutely possible that we get these bounces. We could bounce a hell of a lot higher yet. But unfortunately, we have a downtrend until we end up breaking 116.4K. And then even if we end up breaking that, we just have more potential resistance above us, unfortunately, all the way up to 130.2 thousand US dollars, basically at this point. So as it stands right now, it really depends what kind of a time frame you're looking at. I know not everybody wants to be trading the 5-minute chart like myself, but I treat market structure the same, right, guys? Whether it's the 5-minute, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly, I keep a very level head. And just the thing is, I have my back tested strategies. I have the way that I look at market structure, and it doesn't matter what time frame it is. I'm still going to look at things the same. So those of you maybe considering that, thinking about entering my Telegram channel, for example, but you think that, well, you don't like trading the 5-minute like I do, for example, it's still market structure is market structure. So again, I've been, not just these little moves, but also looking at some much bigger swing positions, doing some things on the 4 hour charts, even shorting the top right at 125.2 thousand US dollars, a beautiful position there. So if that type of thing interests you, do yourselves a favor, get in there. And that is basically sponsored by my partners at BloFin. So no KYC exchange that I personally like trading on. It basically checks the boxes of some things that are very important to me when I'm trading. So yeah, that's why I continue to trade there and why I continue to be partnered with them and so on. And just some happy testaments from the Telegram there. And as well, guys, there is also now Discord as well. Some of you are probably familiar with this. The Discord does get my signals as well. However, there is a 3-day delay there. It's more of a sneak peek for you guys into the Telegram. So if you want the live signals and live analysis, you need to be in the Telegram for that. What else? As far as altcoins go, guys, Ethereum, like I pointed out yesterday, there was a bit of a nasty, same kind of market structure, right? On the 1 hour, we lost this higher low, we got that STUBER rejection, and now we're just starting a bit of a downtrend. And even now you can see that we have this low, lower low, so we have a confirmed lower high we could treat basically right there. As our confirmed lower high on this little trend here. So even if we get some sort of a bounce, just understand that there's a potential rejection looming. Solana, We are technically in the 4-hour STUBER there. This isn't actually a valid STUBER on the 4-hour because after this low, there was never another lower low to break a lower high. So we are still at around a 886. So there is, I mean, basically we are at support, but we do have some momentum to the downside. The fact that the MDX Trendmaster is still printing lower sell signals on the 4-hour, much like hype, very much the same thing. Notice that we basically came to the STUBER fib on the 4-hour as far as a resistance zone and then printing another lower sell signal. So there's just a lot of red flags in the market, you guys, unfortunately, right now. SUI, same thing on the 4-hour. We have lower trending buy signals, lower trending sell signals. We have not retested support. We have not come close to filling this wick yet. So very possible that that still happens. Zcash is the one that has absolutely been on a moon mission for the last couple months. Currently have some concerns about it, as we did technically finally lose 4-hour structure here. I mean, technically we broke the little micro downtrend here, but we have confirmed this as a bearish pivot, the fact that we ended up losing this support back here. So even that, yeah, it's getting very aggressive bounces. This one's just been volatile as hell, but it's starting to show some signs of weakness. So just be a little bit careful. That one's risky both directions, honestly. There is so much momentum to the upside that it's kind of scary to short something like that. I've taken the odd scalp in the last couple of weeks, but nothing really stuck as far as a running position. So that thing's been very volatile, but everything has been. So just be careful out there, you guys. How are you all doing? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I hope you guys are surviving these market conditions. I hope you're thriving in these conditions. Good to see so many familiar faces. Good to see that the sound and vision worked great the first time today. Love to see it. Stu, on the weekly chart, the Stoch RSI, albeit a basic indicator, has never had BTC top the cycle when the Stoch is so oversold. It's always topped when overbought. What do you think? Honestly, I myself don't use the Stoch RSI. I only use the regular RSI, so I don't really have a strong opinion. I don't want to bring up more indicators that aren't already ready here. The basic RSI, I have concerns about. It is still dropping off of a cliff. We are still trending lower. It's currently basically testing the low where it always finds support this entire bull market. So I think the RSI, the regular RSI, is at an interesting place right now. I think if it drops much further, we could be in trouble. And again, just the fact that we dropped some very significant support levels. The bulls have some work to do. I don't know. As far as the 4-year cycle goes, I wouldn't be too surprised if we ended up climbing up a little bit higher eventually, just kind of retesting something like that. I mean, this would make perfect sense, you guys. Something like this. Even if it went a little bit higher, something like that, but basically retest that old support as new resistance for a couple of months and end up getting another lower high off a swing or off of a STUBER fib, for example, after losing that higher low structure on the weekly time frame. That would be just like any short I would take on the 5-minute would absolutely check this box. If I was looking at this weekly chart right here, all these structure levels that have broken here, I'll even get rid of this order block here. But yeah, basically just losing this higher low, right? Because this was our high. This was a slightly higher high. This is our confirmed higher low. We have broke that. So at that point, if this was a 5-minute, I actually, on the weekly, we might get some momentum. On the 5-minute, typically I would wait for that retest up here. So if we end up getting that bounce and you see Moon Boys start getting very excited at resistance, watch out, right? Another thing I pointed out yesterday was that if retail longs started to climb again, we were likely going to dump off a cliff. And just notice what happened with the retail long short indicator. Retail is currently 72.52% long. So retail is trying very aggressively to long this dip, basically. And if they continue to build these positions, I mean, eventually that's got to curl around. As soon as shorts start building again, then we'll likely see the price bounce. But if these longs continue to be built to the upside here, that is recipe for disaster, and that would just be fuel for the fire. So something to be cautious of there. Notice where we are potentially seeing this little rejection right here in this 1 hour Stuber here. Technically already played out once, right? We got up to the 786 and we ended up hitting the first target relatively quickly there. Only about a $400 move there. It's a small range, but technically it played out once already. So, gold, silver, and SPX. You know what? I'm actually going to wrap up my stream right now. However, I will take a look at those and share those in my Telegram channel. And I know you are in there now, correct? Are you not? I think everything got sorted out there. So I will post those into the Telegram. And yeah, I think other than that, that's about all I wanted to go over today, guys. So one last time, if you appreciated these live streams, please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And for those of you interested in learning and just kind of seeing more examples of some of my favorite trading strategies, some of my trade setup ideas, how I use Fibonacci's, how I look at market structure, and you just want more of my thoughts on the market in general, do yourselves a favor and get in my Telegram by scanning the QR code or clicking on the link in the description down below. And with that, thank you so much for being here once again, my friends. I'm out. Stay safe, my friends. Peace.